Don't do that. Kenny, that's how I won in high school. 12 because of Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson. You know, like I was saying about the dribbling thing. You know, besides me, it was a guy named Dean Barry. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Dean from Georgetown.
Yeah.
I did my homework, man.
Dean, like me and Dean used to battle, and that was my guy. So like,
so you knew him before he went to Georgetown?
Yes.
Man, he worked on that crossover every day, man. Through our little man, Dean Barry, man. Dean Barry used to slide this shit out of Allen, man. Practice, man. You know, and it was so wonderful, man, because Damon Jackson and Jahadi White and all us talk about this all day. And Allen stay out of practice, man, and tell Dean, man, show him that crossover, man.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So like, even when we talk about like the whole thing, like even like with AI, right? So even so this is what I'm trying to say. So even like let's talk about it in hindsight, right? So me and Dean used to battle, right? And Dean is one that
Todd Iverson.
Okay, so am I a direct descendant of this? Is what I'm trying to say. So when people come to me about stuff and say certain things, I just sit back. I'm just not that person.
So you just gave some credibility to Dean Barry.
Because although I was able to Google and find pictures of him at Georgetown, the way he was announced, the way Victor mentioned his name was like, man, Dean used to be fucking Allen up in practice, but he was like, he was just a practice dude.
He was a walk-on. But that was my. This is what I'm trying to say. This was my guy. So like, we met at camp, right? Yeah. So I'm doing all this crazy. Even when I go to Camp 5-Star, I'm already this. Right. You know what I'm saying? And Dean is a person from DC, play ball, whatever. But he got some moves, whatever. But me and him got cool. Like we became cool. Right. So of course, he went and he could dribble. So now he sees my vision. You know what I'm saying? And mixed with his vision. Right. So then, of course, he takes that. He goes to Georgetown. Me and him both went to college as freshmen at the same time. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm always going to give. One thing with me, I'm always going to give credit when credit's due. Like,
Shout out to Dean
so
Barry.
Dean Barry, you know what I'm saying? And then the best ball handler I've ever seen in my life is Sherry Anderson. People don't even know who Sherwin Anderson is.
Sherwin
Anderson.
Sherry Anderson?
No, Sherwin Anderson.
Where did he go to school?
He went to Malloy. He went not Malloy. He went to school.
Bishop Lachlan.
Yeah, Bishop Lachlan.
All right.
Bishop Lachlan. In the beginning, everybody thought he was Kenny Anderson's brother.
Okay.
Because he was that cold.
Okay.
When I say, we'll get back later in the story with him because it all makes sense. Just because we'll get back to him because then people that know, then it makes sense for when we talk about the manifestation of the move.
Got you.
Okay. So now you said the Big East.
Tell me about the anticipation, the legacy, the guys before you from New York City who played in the Big East, like
so it's like.
With that, what was it like? Boo Harvey?
Yeah, so like for me, like Boo Harvey, Pearl, them dudes is legends, right? So when I start blowing up, like I said, the first school I wanted to go to, the first two schools I wanted to go to, Syracuse and Georgetown.
Definitely.
Yeah, like that was it. Because I used to when I started getting good, I played in this tournament in my neighborhood. It was called the Little East. Like not go for Big East. Right. I played with Georgetown, the Little East. Okay. And my nickname was the One Man Gang. I was having like 50 points and all. That's why they just called me One Man Gang because it was like just me, So I'm like, man, I want to go to Georgetown. So like I said, once I get in high school, I start, I'm blowing up. I become McDonald's All-American. Of course, AI is doing what he's doing at Georgetown because he's a year ahead of me. Yeah. So I'm like, man. I do want to go to Georgetown, but I'm like, Iverson's already there. And then I was like, but I really want to go to Syracuse because of Pearl. Right. I'll never forget, I want to go to Syracuse so bad. So at this point, me and Steph played on gauchos together. So every school I wanted to go to, he wanted to go to. Right. Not because I wanted to go to, I'm just saying we both had the same schools in mind. Like his favorite two schools was Syracuse and Georgia Tech. So I started loving Georgia Tech because of Kenny Anderson, the same way Steph loved Georgia Tech because of Kenny Anderson. So of course, Steph is the number one player in the country, hands down. Steph is probably the best point guard to ever come out of New York,
Right.
hands down. It's not even hands down. Like, I'm not even saying because of Myra. Steph is the best PG to come out of New York.
Talking about after
No. Overall.
college. and
No,
all that.
overall.
You think
Overall.
Steph was a bigger deal at Georgia Tech than Kenny Anderson?
No. Kenny Anderson is the best high school point guard to ever come out of New York.
Okay.
Steph is the best point guard ever to come out of New York.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like Kenny Anderson is probably the best point guard that went to Georgia Tech. But in hindsight, Steph is the best point guard to come out of Georgia Tech.
Took it to further.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the element, you know. So it's so I go to Syracuse. I'm like, man, I'm ready to sign. They're like, yeah, we want to sign you, but you know, we waiting for Steph. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, but I'm ready to sign now. So then they was like, well, you and Steph could play together because y'all already play together, AAU.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, that's not kind of the same thing. You know, AAU. You know, because AAU, if it don't work out, I'm going back to LaSalle to play. He going back to Lincoln to play.
Right.
So that's not even real life.
Totally different.
Totally different. Because
Right.
I'm like, you know, in school, it's totally different. And so at this point, people didn't know, like, me and Steph is close. Like, you know, they want us to be rivalries, but we close. People don't understand how much Steph helped manifest me, like, helped me. Because Steph was always nice.
Okay.
8th grade, he was number one player in the country. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Like, you know, his 3 brothers was nice.
Yeah.
His pops already, God bless his dad, knew the routine, everything. Like I said, at this point, my pops and moms didn't even know I was hooping.
Right.
You know, so I go to Steph's house in the summer. He like, yo, I'm telling you, Sham, you could destroy these dudes. You just gotta lock in. Because at this point, you know, I'm playing ball, but I'm still in the street. Not in the street like hustling wise, but I'm still hanging out with my friends. Like I'm going with Mason them. They going to party. They going to concert. They doing open mic. They doing all that stuff. I'm with them, so I'm playing both sides.
Right.
You know, what I'm saying? Steph is all basketball, all business. Like he knew from the start, like, yo, I'm going to the league, and that's just what it was. So going to my junior year to my senior year of high school, I spent like the summer with him. So from me hitting the ground, the summer of my junior year, it was curtains. Got MVP and 5-star with Tim Thomas, Steph, Shaheen, everybody with that camp. Went to ABCD, that's when I met Cole. I'm destroying, playing this thing called Gaucho Round Ball. I'm leading scorer. You know, at this point, they're like, yo, he can't shoot. Now I come back in the summer, I'm shooting threes. I'm averaging like 37.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Yeah, so I'm averaging all these points. So I go to high school, go back to the senior season. You know, the third game in the season, I have 45 points, 22 assists. You know, I'm on Channel 1 News, me and Steph.
Right.
Because now I'm just like going off the charts at this point.
Right.
Yeah, because at this point, even for the McDonald's All-American game, it's never been two people at the same position from the same state. So up until that point, I'm not, you know, I'm ranked, but I'm not McDonald's All-American. Steph was already Mr. Basketball, whatever. So I'm killing, and then I get announced McDonald's All-American. First time 2 point guards from the same place. So I'm on a high. So then we playing this thing called the Wheelchair Classic.
Okay.
So Steph is from Brooklyn. I'm from Harlem at this point. You know, I'm representing Harlem. You represent Brooklyn. So we play against each other in the championship game. Mike Krzyzewski, God bless Dean Smith, everybody there. Boeheim. You know, I get MVP. I'm destroying. Like he destroyed, but I'm destroying. We going back and forth. Right. So now I'm manifesting because, like I said, he was already there at the top. So we fast forward. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to come. And they like, well, we gotta wait to see what Steph doing. So I'm talking to Bobby Crimmins, and Bobby Crimmins like, yeah, we want you too, but you know, because they already took my big man the year before, Ed Lee Smith. He went to Georgia Tech. Okay. So I was like, man, I'm coming. I'm putting up all these numbers in high school, you know, and then arguably like my high school year, last year high school was probably the best in New York, period, hands down. Like the growth and everybody, and the style I played.
Okay.
You know, because I'm doing everything from shaking and baking, shooting threes, and I'm like everything is like, everything is extra. Like the 45 points
was
is
your
extra.
reputation, did it allow you to do those things? A lot of stuff that guys doing on TV now, coaches was putting niggas on the bench for doing that shit back then.
Yeah. So like, and that's what I'm saying. Like my coach, that was like my coach manifested all that. My coach is always from day one like, be fearless. Don't worry about mistakes. Just play.
Right.
Because he saw the talent. So he was just like, and he saw the work ethic. So he was like, man, whatever you practice, just do it. Don't hold back. So at that point, it's like, there's no holds barred. So I'm like looking at and that's why all the stuff happens now. Like I want to say for me, because then everybody saw something they'd never seen at that point.
Yeah.
So it was like everything was like manifested. Because I remember I went to play in a tournament in Ohio, right? Go to this Ohio shootout, and then that's what I'm saying. Like there's so much stuff I've never talked about, and then people bring it to me and be like, "Yo," man. So we when I started coaching, I coached at Adidas Nation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coaching Hamidou Diallo, Deontay Ayton, Zion is there on the team. I'm coaching all these people. So Tyronn Lue comes, he's watching the games. So me and Tyronn was friends, so we watching the game. So people start talking to him, like the kids. They start talking to him. All them kids from McDonald's, from Jason Tatum to Jaylen Brown, they all, like I'm coaching with Sam Mitchell, so we coaching all of them. So Tyronn Lue is there, and they start going in on him about Iverson stepping over him, whatever. So he turns around and he says, "Yeah, that's funny." He said, "Yeah, that's funny." He said, "But I'm gonna tell you our story. The only person that ever destroyed me in my life is this dude right here." So he started talking about a game that we had
Right.
in Ohio. But you gotta understand, at this point, I forgot he was on his team.
Right.
Because that's where I'm at.
So many
at that point.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at that point. I forgot he was on the team. And he was like, "Yo, remember you was coming up the court doing it?" He said, "Yo, that was the first time we seen that." He said, "Yo, we thought you was an alien." He said, "Yo, it's crazy." And then fast forward, we in the bubble, Dallas, we playing the Clippers.
Right.
And he got a rookie on his team. And they start talking about, his name is Boga Garrett, the whip, or whatever.
Okay.
The move.
Oh, okay.
Bo Garrett, I forgot, I don't want to mess up his full name, but it starts with a B.
The whip.
But Garrett, but it's the whip.
Right.
So I guess the rookie and some people, they arguing back and forth about it. So Tyronn was like, "Is you crazy? Like, Sham been doing moves like this since I played against him in high school." That's before that footage even ever came out, like whatever. So that kind of stuff back in the days was different from now because it was word of mouth and people never seen it. So when they go, my point was, so when they go now, it's like I could have picked any school I wanted to go to. So I went with Providence because I remember I was going to LaSalle Academy and I hopped the train one day. Got arrested. The coach, he coached at Talenttown High School. He came and got me. Like he saw this happening on the train.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "Is that Shammgod?" Like he's a coach at a high school. He's like, "That's Shammgod." I'm like, "Yeah." And they didn't take me directly to jail. They put me in like the jails that's like in the train station, the holding cell.
Yeah.
And he came and vouched for me. So I was like, I don't even know him. He just vouched for me. "Hey, my name Bobby Gonzalez." Ooh, it's like, "Yeah, I saw you play." He was like, "Man, what are you doing?" I was like, "Man, I was trying to get to school. I didn't even see." So long story short, he started coaching at Providence.
Oh.
Talenttown coach, now he started coaching at Providence. So my junior year, he already knew about me. So Providence, my junior year, they offered me. But I'm, like I said, at that point, I'm like, "Nah, I'm going to Georgetown, Syracuse,
Right.
I'm going to Georgia Tech." So I go to Syracuse for a last visit. And I'm like, "Yo, what y'all going to do? Y'all want me?" This, that. They're like, "Yo, we want you, but we got to wait for Steph." And me and Steph is so close at this point. He not telling me though where he gonna go. Cause I'm like, bro, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
you know, hurry up, speed this up. Cause I was just trying to get mine out the way. So, like a month later, I just say, you know what? Y'all playing, I ain't worried about it. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Providence. Cause Providence, they like, yo, we're gonna give you the range, play 40 minutes. So I'm like, okay, it's still the Big East.
Yeah.
The day I committed to Providence, this is no lie, Steph the next day commits to Georgia Tech. So Syracuse is on fire.
Lost both of y'all fucking with
Yeah. Because Bobby Crimmins, never forget. Because Steph was going, I believe he was going to go to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Syracuse loved him since 8th grade, his brothers and all that. The last day before they would say something, Bobby Crimmins flew a jet to New York to pick Steph up.
Oh, I seen that.
And I knew it was Curtis.
I seen that on the
Yeah,
documentary.
I knew it was Curtis.
Yeah.
It was Curtis. So, of course, Syracuse steaming. they like steaming. So the craziest thing, the first game of the Big East schedule, we played Syracuse. So I'm already like, I'm so turned up because I'm like, yeah.
Who they got in the backcourt back?
They had, what's the boy from Baltimore?
Lawrence
No,
Moe.
it was Lawrence Moen, and it was, the
Moe
boy
was from DC.
Yeah, but it's a boy from Baltimore. Mike something? He played with Lawrence Moen.
Okay.
Strong. Diesel dude. They thought he was going to be super nice. He was cool though. It was Lawrence Moen, him, and who else was there? Man, not Jason Lawson. He was at
Villanova.
Yeah, it was John Wallace. So the first game, TV game, this is my first college game.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have 18 and 12. I'm smashing. They even got clips on YouTube, smashing them dudes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at this point, you know, they was like, oh yeah, Sham's nice, you know, but his shooting go up and down.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm on an all-time high. So we played them. I hit like 4 3-pointers. I remember that game like it's clear as day. I hit 4 3 because that day was like the best thing that happened to me and the worst thing all in one. Like that only happened to me twice in my life. The best and worst thing.
Okay.
That's one. So the reason why is because like I said, I hit 4 3-pointers. I'm like 4 for 8 for 3-point. I have 18 points, 12 assists. We lose by 1. At this point, Austin Crozier is like our guy.
Number 44.
Yeah, he was our guy.
I forgot you played with.
Yeah. But see, the problem was, it's not like today. Like today is more of, coaches more of let the game evolve how it evolves.
Facts.
Back then it was more
System.
of dictatorship and player.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, cause you know, like nowadays, if you're not, I don't want to say friends, but if you're not people person with the players, then it's hard for you to get along. Like the coach.
Okay.
Cause nowadays, whether people believe it or not, like the player have more
Leverage.
you know.
Is
so,
that because of money? Salary?
Because I don't want to say only because of money. I want to say because of we have more outlets. They have more outlets nowadays.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So they're not as fearful. You know, like you said, back in the days, if the coach told you something and you felt you wasn't getting in the game, you just did whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's like somebody be like, man, what? I'm out of here. I'm transferring to this other school. I'm about to go bananas. I'm still going to make it.
Yeah.
You know, because back in the reason why I say it's different is because everybody wasn't in such belief when it came to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Where now it is a belief from at a young age.
Everybody feel like they can.
Everybody feel like commit. And right now it might be too much belief for some people. But back in the days it wasn't enough. You know, back in the days, like, man, if you, like I said, when I went to Providence, I didn't even think that much into the future about the NBA.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, if you made the NBA, you was lucky. Like you was like, people looked at you lucky. Like they was like, man, this dude is something, something different. You know what I'm saying? So then, like I said, I had 18 points, 12 assists. So we lost by 1. Austin, he didn't really play good. So then I go into the coaches meeting. You know, I'm amped. I'm like, man, this is just like high school. It's easy. Like, man, I thought this was gonna be tougher. You know what I'm saying? And I went in the office and the coach was like, you know, how you think you played? Man, it's easy. It's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, man, this like high school. I'm like, but that's the worst mistake I ever made. I was like, yeah, it's like high school. I'm like, man, I'll be out of here soon.
You said that to coach?
Yeah, I'm just talking though. Like he asked me my opinion. So I'm like I said, I'm hyped.